T minus 40 seconds. T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Welcome to the Play It By Ear podcast. The podcast where the topics may vary because, hey, we play it by ear. And now your hosts, Eric Fiskus, Brady Liming, and Todd Griffin.
Brady, what was it?
Chaos at the beginning.
Chalice.
I saw right at the last second a larger notebook. So, and you said we needed notebooks or paper for the game later tonight. So,
Gain on. Got the notebook.
Notebooks in play.
All right. Welcome to episode 139 of the Play By Your podcast. Been a couple weeks.
It's been a while.
Very busy time of year for us.
Especially for the people of our ilk of profession.
Ilk. But things seem to be settled in now, maybe, and we can get back on a semi-regular schedule, hopefully.
We gave the podcast some prune juice.
So here we go. So I'm joined tonight by a guy who tends to be chatty.
Lies. All lies. I was going to say nothing just to be.
I was going to say, dude, I
I didn't even see. I didn't even look over at the name. I was waiting for you to announce who you were talking about.
Yeah. In the cookie Monsieur.
Monsieur the cookie.
I forgot to change my name after the cookie topic. Although I have my eye on that new cookie place or whatever that opened up in like Dirty Dough or whatever it's called.
Where's that?
I think it might be in Beachmont. It might be in Beachmont, but they look delicious. They are stuffed cookies.
Ooh.
Stuffed. I'll send you a picture.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Hello, Savannah.
Savannah. Enjoyed the video of the pups you sent.
Yes.
The pups.
Some of our biggest fans.
Yes.
All right. We have other people in the room. If you'd like to introduce yourselves, please do. If not,
Please don't.
Linger back in the shadows and
Lurk.
All right. So if you've never been here before, now I need to change my delivery here. Brady will have a topic tonight. I will have a game. So that's how this is going to go. If you were not here for our last episode, we're trying to streamline the situation here. I mean, we're getting very chatty as
verbose.
I think we're all chatty, but we were getting up into the 2.5 hour range, and even when we cut back on a topic, we did our longest show ever. So.
Which is strange. It's strange to be 130 some episodes into this, and then all of a sudden now get over the 2 hour. You would think that would happen early in the life of the podcast, but
I still stand behind it. I think we knew that the end of summer was coming, so we went out with a with a chatty yeehaw
a
little bit.
All right, so our goal is an hour and a half, hour 45, maybe 2 hours. That's our goal. So we'll see how that goes. It's always a under construction here. So with that, Brady, you have tonight's topic?
I do. Do we want to mention the website before we start?
Yeah, we probably should. www.playitbyyearpodcast.com. Visit the website. We will mention it once again here a little bit later. We'll talk about merch and things of that sort. Now, Brady.
Trying to get my lighting right. Sorry, gentlemen. There we go.
I
have 4 settings, and you would think I have 184. I keep hitting them over and over again, wanting it to look better, and it just doesn't. So we're rolling with that.
The funniest is when I got my backlighting thing for this occasion, and of course, the first time I hit it, it starts like going rainbow flashy, and it looked like I had the Vegas Strip on my forehead, and so I finally got it dialed in. I got a setting. So
I will say, Brady, you're choked up on the microphone tonight.
Yes, you are.
I feel like I could count your nose hairs if I needed to.
I'm trying to use the phone. that like from Dumb and Dumber.
Are you scooched
Not
up?
that that's difficult.
No, I thought when we went live, my depth was like it zoomed in. That's what I said. Hey, what? Because like it got really close, so I didn't know if something changed on the other end or what. But anyway, you get the up close and personal and HD. You get to see my visage and all of its in glory. So anyway, it is time. Oh, but before I start, so now that I am at a new position in a new building, same district, but I've been telling some coworkers, they've been asking me about this. You do not know how difficult it is to describe what we do. Us who prattle on for 2 hours plus, but can't come up with one sentence describing exactly what we do in this podcast. It's kind of difficult.
Well, yeah, I think that's why, because we can't. Fiscus is gone. What do we do without Fiscus?
Well, we will soldier on.
Is he gone on your end too?
Yeah, he just said, I'm deed.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I just got a text message from him. So I wonder if they've had a power outage at the Buford. He will update us. But shall we carry on, Todd?
We shall.
For the good of the order, here we go. So my topic tonight is one that we ran across a few weeks ago, and this is about something like, so in a nutshell, this is from a list, but daggone, we are going to add to it, and our audience is going to add to it. These are people sharing things that they'll never do again, and some things they wish they would have never done. Now, I want to be clear. We're not talking about life choice regrets, like I wish I wouldn't have dated that person, or we're talking about things that you've done, activities, just stuff that you once was enough. Maybe it was built up, or just something you tried and you didn't like and you'll never do again. Okay. So there are the parameters. So I will start off with the first one on the list, and I get this. This is going to make me sound like an old codger, but lining up early in the day at a concert with general admission tickets so you could get the front row and then never get to leave, and you can't go to the restroom or can't go get a beverage. You're kind of stuck there because you're up against the stage and you waited hours and hours for that prime spot. What say you?
Well, I don't know. So I assume you mean like a general admission where you can't, a pit or something where you're standing up there.
Think about the old days, like, venues where it's just general admission. You get your ticket and you wait in line to get in, and you could rush the stage if you want and try to get that prime spot. Now, as a youth, a teenager, a college student, I would do that, but I just don't feel compelled to do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been one to want to be up in the thick of things at a concert, though. Like I like having a seat. First off, and I've kind of always been that way. The few times I've found myself up close in concerts where I didn't have a seat, and I was, I find myself uncomfortable. I'm not a mosh pitter. I am not a person. I don't like people pushing me and touching me. I don't have the temperament for that. I don't know. I would say that's not something where I look back and I would never do. It wasn't an age thing. It's just it never was my
Personality.
it never was my bag, baby.
The time that comes to my mind, and this is going to date myself and my coolness a lot, but it was a show when I was at Ohio State. I even referenced this a few weeks ago, but anyway, it was Trickster. They were. It was like a block from where I lived, and it was a block from where I lived. So I just sashayed up and just kind of waited there for a while. Is when they were dominating Dial MTV and everything. So it was a good show. It was a good lineup. But man, that changed my perspective because it was about a 10-to-1 girl to guy ratio because they were there for the dudes,
Mm-hmm.
And I got crushed on that stage. This mad rush of Vimmins were like pushing me forward. And I kind of feared for my life there for a moment. It would be like being in the front row of a Backstreet Boys concert back in the day. So that kind of is like, but just like chilling and watching a show. Like wow, when I went to the Horseshoe to see the Killers, it was general admission, but I didn't feel like that I had to be 5 feet from the stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't typically enjoy general admission shows anyway. I've definitely pushed my way to the front, and it also depends on who you're with, I think.
Oh yeah.
If you're kind of with your buddies or something like that, it seems to be okay. If you're with someone you feel the need to protect, it's not as fun. It's not as
fun at all.
Enjoyable. But I don't know. I'm kind of getting to that point now where I find myself wishing and hoping that everybody just sits down and watches. And I know that's terrible to say because I for one would like people up and dancing when I'm playing. But it's a little different. I mean, I am more likely to dance, we used to go like to the Griswold shows and things like that. I'm more likely to go dance at that. But like if I'm at like in a pavilion watching a concert, I'm short too. That doesn't help. And so I typically I kind of like it when everybody stands and sits at least at the same time. You know what I mean? Like for instance, if you're watching, if you're at a Journey concert, you expect to stand up during "Don't Stop Believing." And anyway, but if they're playing a brand new, if we got a brand new song we're going to play tonight for you, you've never heard it before, sit your ass down and listen to the song.
Or the Neil Sean 20-minute jam solo.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm kind of torn on that. I don't mind standing. I like it when it's a group effort of, hey, we're all going to stand and sit kind of at the same times.
Yeah.
Even though that's almost impossible to, and also some of these venues, and I'm not going to bring up any venue names, but like if it's designed for a general admission concert, but they put seating down, it's that temporary like folding chair seating, and sometimes it's like they're attached somehow, but they're not attached to the floor. So then every time people stand up and sit down, the rows get
the whole row moves.
The whole row moves. Sometimes it gets wider. Sometimes it gets more nary. Next you'll go sit down once, and your knees are on the person's shoulder in front of you, and then when the next time you go sit down, you got 3 feet between your knees, and it's like a place needs to decide: is it going to be a general admission venue or is it going to be a seated venue?
Yeah, that's rough. There's nothing worse than being uncomfortably sat.
Yeah, but I also I've told this story maybe on the podcast. So 1999, maybe 99, 2000. It had to be 99. Had to be. So I bought what I thought were front row seats to see the Offspring at Riverbend. And I bought so myself, Celia, we weren't married yet, and then her little sister and a friend of her they were both in high school, and her little sister's friend, and Jason, my cousin Jason. And so I bought these, I thought were front row seats. We'll come to find out, we get there and there was no front, there was a pit. So like, if you ever go to a show at Riverbend, they take out like however many of the front rows to make it. So we were actually in the pit, and I mean, that was a fight for survival all night long. I mean, it was brutal. It was me with my arms on the barricade, with Celia's sister, her sister's friend in between my arms and the barricade, trying to keep trying to keep people from knocking us over and stuff. And I know I told this story before. Jason got his eye split open. Somebody punched Jason in the eye, and like every time you'd fall down, you'd have to make sure that you're getting as much as possible. Yeah, so it was not fun. And actually, that concert I remember they were the Offspring. They were pulling kids up out of there to get them out, like pulling them up on stage and getting them out of there because it was just getting too rough. So I don't know if everyone was surprised by the pit. You know what I mean? I don't know if there were parents there that had their kids because they thought they were getting front row seats, but I also blame radio for that sort of thing because same thing happens with I went to Blink-182 and when the radio only plays either edited versions or songs that are, like with the Offspring that year, everybody thought Pretty Fly for a White Guy was like what they did. They don't realize that they're, a West Coast punk band that has a lot heavier stuff and faster stuff. And so there were a lot of mismatched fans there. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the downfall of this show. I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's okay. We were talking about weddings.
I was going to say roosters.
Okay.
We're talking about concerts. Brady's doing a list of things that you would never do again, like things that you used to do maybe that you would never do again.
Gotcha.
Or you've done once and never care to do again.
Gotcha.
But not twice.
Not 3 times a day.
All right. I'm up to speed.
All right. So this next one, oh man, I get this. I totally get this. Daggone it. I got all kinds of gremlins going on. I just lost my list, but so going to Mammoth Cave and doing the spelunking, the kind where you have to crawl a bit or crouch a bit and scooch through the rock formations. No, thank you.
I won't even do that once.
I was going to say, I am not a spelunker. I'm not a spelunkist.
A spelunkist. I finally did go to Mammoth Cave. It's one of those things that's just never had the occasion to do. And when I went, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting all of it to be like that. But there's cool walk through caves. But there's the extreme spelunking, where the kind where you had to lay flat on your stomach and shimmy your body around. That makes my skin start to crawl.
Well, here's what's really scary about that, because we went to Mammoth Cave last summer and I really enjoyed it. I didn't actually know there were places where you actually had to spelunk and get on your belly and crawl like a snake. But when you read about how a lot of those caves, miles, hundreds and hundreds of miles of caves were founded, where it was people. The difference is they didn't know if they were all of a sudden going to come to a point where they couldn't go back. I mean, isn't
that disturbing?
Yeah,
like I almost had to skip this. It's giving me anxiety.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was slave labor. Like it was slave labor that forged the tunnels and things like that, and 9-10 inches of space to crawl on your belly, and again hoping that the other end of it you find somewhere to get out.
You're not in a bottomless pit.
I can't even be in a closed MRI. There's no way.
I've had too many MRIs to count, but the only time I've ever had a problem was the very first one I ever did, and then I did the last one I had. For some reason, I almost lost it, and I don't know what saved it for me. Because I was getting ready to tap out, like I was going to do some sort of signal. They don't tell you what signal to give them. I didn't know whether to
make the sound of a dying giraffe.
Yeah. So I was trying to think of what I was going to do, and your arms are at your side, so you can't really use your arms or anything. So and then something happened, and I just
chilled,
relaxed, and calmed down, and got through it. I don't know. But it made me anxious about future MRIs.
Yeah.
Well, see, and that's the thing with it. The arms at the side thing, to up again you. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
Well, and up above your head's no better.
No,
because then you can't bring them down. You can't.
Right.
All right, let's go on to a more lighthearted. I will never do it again. This person says, cutely go through the drive-thru at Starbucks and get your dog a puppuccino, which is a little thing of whipped cream, because the farts in the car afterward were death because the dog was lactose intolerant, and I guess the dog blew the doors out. So they will never do that again.
How would you know if your dog's lactose intolerant?
Give them a puppuccino and keep keep the windows up.
Yeah, first off, where's that at? Starbucks?
Starbucks, yeah, you could get a puppuccino. It's just a little whipped cream cup.
You can do the same thing at Hillsboro at Hopefield. They'll give you a
Yeah.
a
DQ
little-
has it too. Actually, I don't think this is a thing. I think my dog was really cute, so they gave him a little ice cream cone of DQ, and he loved it. And now I think about it, I think it gave him killer dog gas later. So
do you think they would know if you just kept going through the drive-through and getting more of them just to have for yourself?
yeah,
You probably work yourself up to a large dip cone if you stack them together.
You could definitely game it, but you can do the puppeteers multiple times because then it'll just look like your dog has rabies.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I
be
don't
like,
mean for the dog. I'm saying like
I
to get your own free. Yeah, my dog doesn't need ice cream, but I do.
or you don't even have to have a dog. Eh? I got a dog sleeping in the back seat. Can I?
Yeah, yeah. Shh, hand it over quietly. We don't want to
Yeah.
wake him.
Right.
There was a huge Great Dane the other day. So this is interesting. So 2 weeks ago, we played Great Inland Seafood Fest when I saw a guy walking around with a blue. I guess that's the color. They're grayish looking, but I guess they're called blue Great Danes. And I just thought it's a good looking dog. Well, literally like a week later, we played St. Bernadette Festival, and that same guy with that same dog was there. And so like we went up and we were talking to the dog, and so then fast forward, not even a week, like 3 or 4 days later, last night we're playing in Edgewood, Kentucky, and someone is there with the exact same type of Great Dane, but it was even bigger. Huge. I've never seen such Franklin, I think was the dog's name. And I've never seen such a big dog. And it had a Franklin, I think was the dog. It was Frank something, like either Frankfurt or Franklin. And so because I made the joke because it had like a little outfit thing on it said "Pet Me," like I guess like a service dog to show.
Yeah,
and it said "Pet Me," and I said, "What you don't know is the other side says I dare you." Because I mean, that thing's head.
Don't you dare!
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, just got me thinking. I love Great Danes from a distance. I would never want one in my house, but
yeah, I always tease my niece that she should have settled for a mediocre Dane instead. But okay, now Eric, this is gonna hit home because when I read this, I thought of your father.
Yeah.
And this never ever list. Trust the electric company to trim the oak trees in my front yard. They chop down 2 mature trees and let the firewood in a giant pile in the driveway as a favor. Do you remember you had those trees in your house where they were going to trim them and they butchered them?
Yep. And Dad got all upset about that.
Oh yeah, they ruined it. They ruined his arbor. I can't even say it. Arbor vitae. But
but wasn't that just something though? When you look back, that was like required of dads to get angry about stuff like that. And I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying there was no reason to be angry, but it never made sense to us back then as younger people.
Yeah, but
I actually don't have any trees.
Getting angry about that sort of thing now.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't have any trees in my yard, so I can't get angry about that. But it's funny how it's like to be a dad in a certain decade or a certain era, you had to just be angry about things like that, about trees, about
they blew the grass the wrong way on the yard.
See, that's why I could never mow the yard because I never did it correctly. It's like I would try, and then he'd come out and I'll take that.
How was that again? Yeah, he expected it to look like the grass at like Giant Stadium, which is a perfect checkerboard, you know.
Right.
Of course, Eric was out there spelling 4-letter words in the backyard.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same way I feel about loading the dishwasher now because I can never do that right either.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
You could get by with mowing custards in your yard because there were no such thing as drones. So unless Larry Wilson told on you, you were in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
Right. Joey.
Joey.
All right, Joe, you're gonna have to tell me who is Yevgeny.
He's the head of the Wagner group. The Russian coup, the mercenaries.
Oh,
his private jet got shot out of the sky. It crashed.
Crashed. Yeah. Yeah.
See, we're up on things, Joey.
Yes.
We like our international affairs.
Yeah.
This one, oh my gosh, man. This is so true, and I'm embarrassed to admit this, but this one says, never will I ever again ride a roller coaster. Y'all take care of your back because when it goes, your life choices are reduced. The son of beast messed up my life.
Okay, back up. Take care of your what?
Huh?
Back.
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 Oh, that's the one I thought he said.
You think he said bag?
I thought he said bag. Take care of that
too.
too.
If you're riding the King Cobra and
Gosh,
they pull it up on the seat too far, you better take care of it. This will be up by your chin. Never ever
That's how the
let a
screaming
teenage
demon got his
girl.
name.
Oh, never let a 15-year-old girl adjust your stand-up
Oh.
roller coaster seat because they don't know how to operate the equipment in more than one way.
Don't get me started on this because, first off, I've said this, and I'm going to sound like an ageist, and everyone with teenagers, relax. I have my own teenagers. I'm just honest about mine. Teenagers have no business running roller coasters or any rides at all. And I've said it before. I don't know when the last time somebody ran the boats, tightened the boats, greased the whatever they need to grease. I don't know the maintenance schedule of those roller coasters or anything like that. So I don't need to be on
Island
there.
is twice daily.
The
Yeah,
Ohio
who's doing
Department
it?
of Agriculture inspects that stuff. They're
Yeah.
on top of it.
We're not talking
Still.
about the zipper at the Adams County Fair in the middle of July. You know.
Hey, don't you blaspheme the Nolan name.
Oh
So-
man.
No, don't get me wrong. There are plenty responsible, fantastic teenagers out there that are great at their job, but I just have always thought that it needs to be somebody a little older that is locking me into a ride that could kill me.
Okay, I don't care if the guy has a doctorate. I'm not getting on a roller coaster.
Oh well, you have a rule. Any roller coaster or only specifically ones that break your rule?
At this point, any roller coaster.
Well, and why I'm embarrassed, Eric, is like the metal track ones are great, but the last time I rode the Beast, I walked like Quasimodo for a week because like it's just so rough, and I could feel the vertebrae in my neck, like somebody cutting a deck of cards, like shuffling and doing a thing. That's what it
Yeah.
felt like. Now the new roller coasters, the metal, they're smooth as a hot knife through butter, but those
Well,
old ones, man.
let me argue something because I used to ride everything. I started out afraid of them, then I was not afraid of anything, and now the older I get, the smarter I get, and the more I know that I have something to fear, and I have things to lose, I guess now. But so my argument to that, and I agree with everything you're saying because I have never ridden the Beast at any age where it didn't give me a
really?
headache. No,
Okay.
where it didn't give me a blistering headache. But I will say this: isn't part of the attraction of the thrill of riding roller coasters was the beating your body took and the fear and if they're making them where they're like Cadillacs, it's so smooth that you get nothing out of it. I mean, what's the
I tell you what, man, and like I said, I've ridden every kind of roller coaster. I have no fear of them unless they're gonna mess me. It's the pain factor. But that new Giga coaster at Kings Island, Orion, where you say this, it's so smooth, but until you careened down that 300 plus foot hill that is almost like totally vertical at about 90 miles an hour, it's something. You do not feel in control. You don't feel like you're getting your anus shaken loose, but you're going 90 miles an hour like you're hurtling through space, and it is a thrill. It is pretty impressive.
Well, and I also, the older I get, and this can spin off on a completely different direction, but the older I am definitely starting to be a get off my lawn type person. But I here's the difference. And I would like to talk to like our dad, dads, Brady, your mom. I'd like to talk and find out every generation as you get older, you're accused of being that way. Like you're grouchy to the teenagers and above.
I believe currently it's okay, boomer, right?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
what it is?
Yeah, which is one of my. I hate that phrase. But I would like to know is is it equal? What I mean by look in hindsight, if you were to ask Pete or, again, Brady's mom, my dad, if you were to ask my mom, dad, so back when you thought young people had no sense and everything they did made you mad, were they really that bad? Were they as bad as it is now? Where we have to have Kings Island changing their rules because young people don't know how to act like they have any sense? Was it that bad? You know what I'm saying? I mean, when Kings Island, after however many years has been open, has to all of a sudden have a policy now that says you have to be with an adult and things like that. Can we actually compare apples to apples? Have the previous generations been that bad?
I lived close enough to town, a quarter of a mile from downtown. I lived in the suburbs of Sardinia, so I was about a quarter mile from the downtown district. And at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. every night, the tornado siren would sound once. You know why? It was the curfew. So if you were a teenager, you better be off the street. Or, Ralph Fultz would come at you with a nightstick. I'm kidding. He wouldn't do that. But like,
he'd pick up your house by day and throw you in the paddy wagon at night.
Yeah, put you in the calaboose. But
and if not, what's his name would come driving over in his red van with his
Clyde Wardlow.
Clyde Wardlow would come, screech into a halt in his van with his side piece, his sidearm that was the size of it's like a hand cannon.
Oh yeah, it was like an '88 Magnum. But
like Johnny Dangerously, it goes through walls
in
schools.
But no, like legit, I don't think you could get away with that today. I'll tell you what it sounds like. If the movie would have been out, to see that 10 p.m. It's like The Purge.
Yeah.
It just conjures
Except
up
the opposite.
Yeah.
Shit settled down rather than got crazy when the siren. Yeah. And I point that out because of this. So our daughter, she had a season pass to Kings Island for the first time this summer. And she had a great time, and but I think at least twice she came home talking about how annoying and rude like people on roller coasters were to like the workers there and things like that, cussing them out, yelling at them to hurry up and let's go and things and it's like, I know that we get accused of just being old fuddy-duddies, but I don't think it was that way. I don't think that it was that way for our parents. The lack of disrespect, the lack of discipline, the lack of consequence, things like that. And so because of that, I think we're the first generation that's kind of dealing with this at the scale that we are. I mean, when you can't even go enjoy yourself at an
amusement park,
because of the just
violence and shenanigans.
Yeah, I mean, just I don't know. So anyway,
and here's what I partially. There are many things to blame, I think, but one thing that comes to mind for me is there is always some media outlet ready to pounce. If someone feels that they've been wronged, even if they haven't really been wronged, some media outlet will take that and move with it.
I was at Kings Island, and I only got a half teaspoon of powdered sugar, and I was supposed to get a whole teaspoon of powdered sugar. Yeah. Marge on the king, that kind of deal.
Yeah, you can't have a dry elephant here. You got to have plenty of powdered sugar.
And social media and. It's
get off my line.
Exactly. I will. I've said it before. I don't know if I've said it on the podcast. I've said it to you all. I'm a big freedom of speech guy. I'm all for it. But you used to have to work a little harder for it.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Now it's like people don't even think, not rational, throw stuff out there. And it's just these same people will rethink their position later, but they generally won't take that down. So there it is. It's out there. Even if they maybe don't feel that way, it was just a spur of the moment sort of thing. But
and I apologize to anybody listening who is expecting us to always be kind of lighthearted and funny. Sometimes we get serious. And I'll say this, Eric. I think what you're saying is definitely true, but I'm going to kind of throw the flip side of that out there. And that is people now expect them to be able to behave however they want and be protected by the fact of what you just said of like people being able to ready to pounce. And here's what I mean by that. You have people, they start a scene and then they want to get their phones out and record how other people are acting, so then they can claim
Moral superiority.
more superiority.
Right.
And I'll give you, it's happened right here in my home where I live. It was a few years back. Ethan was with me. I pulled out into the road. I didn't pull out in front of them. It was not close. It was not even, it was nowhere near. I would admit it if it was. I make mistakes driving like anybody does. The person that was coming up the road apparently thought, and we're talking in a 25 mile. It wasn't like I pulled out on a highway in front of
super highway. Yeah.
Yeah. This is right up here in town in Hillsboro. And a person lays on their horn. It could have been Fiscus yelling out the window. No. So anyway, they pull on their horn. They right in the middle of town, like whip it around me, pull up beside me, slam on the brakes as I'm coming to the light. And I look over and they have their phone out the window aimed at me. No doubt recording it.
And did you go?
Oh, but there was no doubt what they were trying to do was get a reaction out of me, so then they could record my reaction and then post it on Facebook and say, look at this dumbass out here on the drive. You know what I mean? Like not even the cause and effect is gone. There's no,
It's only the effect.
It's only the effect. Yeah. And I think that's what happens also. You have these people, the people that get their phones out at like King Zion and things like that. A lot of times they started the ruckus.
Yeah.
And then for somebody trying to actually come in there and what do you want to call it? Like, contain the situation or water it down or whatever to try to get it. Then all of a sudden now they're impeding on that person's right, like you just said, Eric, to act a fool and do whatever.
Right.
Because they know that as long as they have that video of it, the news is going to be ready to, the media is going to be ready to pounce. Social media is going to be ready to pounce.
Yep.
All right.
Because,
Daggone it.
Because in the name of, as Gary Burbank used to say, that my right to know supersedes my right to exist, these news outlets don't investigate such things. They just kind of run with them.
All right. On a lighter note, that's great discussion, by the way. So we got to vent our spleens a little bit.
You got my dander raised, Brady.
Got your dander up.
Yeah.
Pin your ears back, Eric.
I'm
those
sorry.
who do not know.
I'm sorry, but I got to ask you guys this. So today I out of nowhere, I'm walking into our break room and I reach out my hand for whatever reason and I stove my finger, bend my nail back on like the little wooden railing around our hallway between our staff bathrooms and this. And closest I've ever come to yelling out a cuss word in the middle of my school. First off, my partner, I said, she's like, what'd you do? And I'm half laughing, half like tearing. It hurt. And I said, I stoved my finger. And she's like, what? You stoved your, she's like, did you just say past tense? She thought I said, she didn't know what I said basically. And I said, yeah, I stoved my finger. And she said, is that a thing? Is that a term? She's like, do you mean stubbed it? And I said, no, you stub your toe. You stove your finger. She had never heard of that.
I got to be honest. How do you spell it?
Stoved, S-T-O-V.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then another teacher's walking by who's closer to my age, and I said, "Do you say stoved?" And she's like, "Yeah, I say stoved too." And so then we're thinking maybe it's not a well-known. Maybe it's a
generational word,
word or something. So my question is, do you guys say stoved?
Yes.
I do, but I think I've pivoted words. I think this goes back to like when you play basketball where you've jammed your fingers.
Well, I think a jamming and a stoving are the same thing.
Yeah.
But a stubbing isn't.
Stubbing is a toe issue. Anytime
your naked toe makes contact with any hard surface, it's a stubbing.
When there is a perpendicular force applied to it, and it moves your toe joints backwards where they shouldn't be.
Yes.
Well, no, but I necessarily don't think of. So if my toe is hitting a solid surface and bends it back, I don't call that a stubbing. I call just a nick, even just the slightest glance off of something firm.
Your toe.
That's a stubbing. But a stove is when your finger actually, like you said, like if somebody throws you a basketball and it hits your finger and it stoves it.
Man.
Like a stovepipe.
Stovepipe, yes.
Because I'm not making this up, but I think I've seen it spelled before, and I'm going to have to check this. S-T-O-B-E-D, like stoved.
No.
And,
you're getting and stoved mixed up now. You're
Well,
creating a
no,
language.
no, I've read the word in like a book, and I remember remarking, "Is like, is that right?" Because, but I never followed up on it. You just cued a memory, and I never thought to look that up because I wanted to look up if stoved is a real thing because it sounds made up.
What do you think, Eric?
I'm looking up stove finger.
Is Joey still with us?
Joey, are
Joey?
you out there?
Joey?
Joey, do you say stoved? Stubbed?
Yeah, what do the Cleveland people say?
Please keep in mind it's TV-14, Joey.
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing you, Joey.
Yeah. Not the words that say after the stoving. What do you call the actual?
Well, we're looking that up. This one's funny, and we've all done it, but I really don't want to do it anymore because I've got burned doing this literally and metaphorically. Eat a hot pepper to find out if it's really, really hot. Like, oh, this is a hot pepper. Let me see how hot it is. And then you pop it in your mouth, and then
See, I've never been one to do that. I've never done that. I see these pepper challenges. Have you seen that one where it's just like one? It's a chip or something. It looks like a Dorito. It's like a big triangle, and it's supposedly like this hot. Shaq did it one night. I know on I've never gotten into that.
Anything that is that hot and uncomfortable that it's going in your oral orifice is going to give you the flayness.
I would say any orifice.
Yeah,
the flayness.
It's going to come out unpleasant.
Yeah, you're going to have a fire breathing dragon down there if you're not careful.
Yes.
So here's my take on that. And while I'm probably made anybody mad who thinks I'm now an ageist, I'm going to make more people mad here. You know the way we kind of think about. We've talked about this shirtless guys.
I ain't cold.
Most shirtless guys could beat me up, so please don't get offended if you are a guy who likes to be shirtless all summer and hang out. But we can agree, the three of us have a problem with shirtless guys. And like I've said before, I've been in all shapes. I've been in really good shape. I've been in really bad shape and everywhere in between. So it's not a jealousy thing of I wish I were built like that guy. It's a put your shirt on, man. You're walking down the street. You're hanging out in public. Put your shirt on. Nobody wants to see your nipples.
Have jeans on,
or
you
jorts.
Have your said shirt tucked in the back pocket, and you're walking down the street, you will incur my wrath.
Yes. And I've also voiced my displeasure of the people who wore shorts in like the middle of the winter and claim they didn't get cold, that kind of thing. Now,
cold.
Don't get me wrong. I know people with body temperature, I get that. But I'm sorry. If it is the middle of winter and you are cold, you might not want to admit it. It might threaten your manhood or whatever to admit you're cold. But anyway, I have a theory. No one enjoys the taste when it gets so hot that you literally, as soon as it touches your tongue, you lose all taste buds. There's nothing but heat and sweat and eyes crying. There's nothing enjoyable about that, and there's nothing that's good about that. So I personally think people that do it, it's a tough person thing.
I ran into it today. I had a pack, like a snack pack of pistachios, and it was pistachios, and it was chili powder dusted, or chili flavored. Like I was thinking, like a chili flavored chip. Man, I ate a bite of those, and my eyes got to watering, and my nose got to running.
Yeah, well, my nose runs if I eat Jell-O. I mean, it doesn't have to be hot for me to eat. I think that's just a sinus thing. But I agree. I know what you're saying, and don't get me wrong. I know there are different levels. If you're a chicken wing person, and if you like something that has a bite to it, I'm not knocking anyone, but I'm talking about when that is just so hot that it just immediately wipes out any sense of taste.
There's no flavor or taste. There's only the sensation of discomfort.
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So last year in Nashville, we were out with our friends, and our friend Darren, he wanted to try some Nashville hot chicken, and he got whatever the hottest kind they had was. And I literally put chicken to tongue. Just and instantly, the next 3 hours were misery. Like there was nothing. Like I couldn't taste anything. I couldn't make water. Like it was just like nothing worked.
They say when you do that, you're supposed to drink milk.
Well, he admitted actually it was too hot as well. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know how anyone could eat that and say that's good. That tastes good.
Or sour's cream. It's good for that.
I'd rather suffer the discomfort.
Now, yeah, this past time I went to Nashville, and I think he dialed it down a little bit. It was tasty, and then my chicken actually had a little kick. I don't mind just a little bite, a little kick.
Yeah.
So Gary asked the best question here. How much older is Todd than the other two guys?
I'm just the only one to say it, Gary.
As soon as this episode ends, he's going to retire to his parlor and watch some Matlock.
That's right.
So
I have a prune juice IV set up in my bedroom right now, Gary.
With a Metamucil chaser.
Straight water.
Here's
all right, hold on, Brady. Hold on. You buzzed by the pin your ears back before you let me rant.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Brady mentioned that, and I growled. My most hated term in football broadcasting is, "Oh, he's pinning his ears back." Oh, he's able to pin his ears back.
Like there's a basset hound running up the middle.
See, I don't think it's a basset hound. It's more like it's a dog that has pointy ears that kind of pin back.
It's a greyhound. It's a greyhound.
Yeah.
They're chasing the mechanical rabbit.
Yeah.
Pin their ears back. But
it's all about. I think. Go ahead.
All right. Whoever's teaching these guys, these ex-athletes, to be a broadcast, find something else, some other cliche to say for that particular situation. He's finding the game really easy right now.
He's breaking the rule. I think it's more of an aerodynamic illusion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I think it's more he's doing things carelessly. He's able to be careless because no one is even challenging him.
Oh, and I never take it that way.
No.
I always take, because if the ears are pinned back, it means you're zipping through.
That's
like
what it means in the greyhound. Yeah, right. But
yeah,
with the way they use the term, it's the game is easy. No one is challenging me. I'm able to run through the.
Well, and technically his ears are pinned back because they're
and,
restrained by the helmet.
Exactly.
True.
So,
well, I mean,
even when things are going badly, his ears are pinned back. So,
I would say, in general, human ears are always pinned back.
Correct. Well, I guess not everybody.
If he said his ears are really slanted forward tonight,
he's having a rough time.
My ears are drooping tonight.
His ears are flapping to and fro, meaning he's running really slow. It's like wind catching him.
I swear, I just want to throw something at my TV.
Here is one that made me chuckle, and I have no reference for this. But anyway, I'll never squirt ketchup directly onto my hot dog again without shaking the bottle prior to squirting.
All right, I will go along with that, and even sometimes when you do shake it up, that you tilt the ketchup bottle down, and the watery grease stuff comes out before the actual ketchup.
You paint a lovely picture.
I don't like that.
There's nothing worse than when you don't shake it enough, and it's basically like squirting pink lemonade on your hot dog.
Makes your bun soggy.
Yeah. It tinges your bun. Yeah, I don't want a pink bun. It's like when you were a kid and you spilt your Kool-Aid on your bread. There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, there is nothing worse than
that. This next one even has an example. And seeing our topic the last couple weeks, I'll never buy off-brand Oreos again. And this is Walmart Great Value Twist and Shouts. They're called Twist and Shouts.
What kind of nonsense name is that for a cookie?
Twist. Woo. before they dunk them in milk.
You twist them. Yeah.
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 Well, I mean,
And then you shout because they're not real Oreos.
Exactly. I mean, I get the gist of it. But no, I mean, it's a dumb name. All right, let's get on that for a minute. We talked about cookies ad nauseum for the past couple of weeks.
They should be called to and fro's.
To and fro.
Because you twist them to and fro before you break them apart.
Pitch and y'alls.
Inch and rolls.
So I believe one of the worst things about the non-name brand Oreos, sandwich cookies, if you will, the fact that the creme adheres to the cookie. The Oreo creme comes like flawlessly off the cookie, whereas that
in one dollop, if you wish.
Yeah. Do you think the cookie part has just a slight bit of like grease or something on it to keep the cream from sticking to it?
Probably some Teflon. We've been ingesting Teflon for years.
It has to have something.
Like Teflon.
It has to have something it's coated with to keep the creme from sticking.
Or probably just to keep the whole cookie from disintegrating because it's poorly made.
Yeah, I've said it. I give my wife a hard time about this, but I will say when you're eating, I would challenge anyone if you're eating like a truffle or something, an Oreo truffle, that to taste the difference between an Oreo and an off-brand Oreo. But if I'm just eating Oreos by themselves, I want to read Oreo across the face of that cookie. When the name won't fit on the cookie, you know that you throw it in the garbage.
Twist and shout.
Hydroxychloroquines.
Yeah, kaleidoscope. I mean, you can't fit that on a cookie.
Okay, here's a good one. Never will I ever again test the expired milk.
Yeah.
When you open up that milk,
fresh milk.
I'm telling you what, there's not many worse smells than that. Curdled milk.
And seriously, this is true. The last time I ever got a carton of milk, I don't even know why I did this. This was in Morehead State University at the student union at the ADUC, and I don't know why I wanted a chocolate milk. Ugh. And I opened that up and tipped my head back, and the glop hit my tongue. It was like a wayward seagull dumped its contents onto my tongue. That was the consistency of it, and I went lightheaded and about hit the floor right there.
Are you serious? That's the last container
last time
milk
I have drunken a carton of milk ever. 1991.
How did you two get through elementary school without drinking milk?
I did. I was in college.
No, I know. So you did. So you did drink it when you were in elementary.
I would partake of a chocolate milk, absolutely, or I would pour me a glass of chocolate milk from a yug that my mom would purchase. But no, the good old carton. But
see, that's one reason why kids today are coddled. You know, they get strawberry milk. They can even get a bottle of water out of the. We had no choice.
We had white milk
or
chocolate milk.
Well,
Bree.
At some point they brought in strawberry.
Bree.
We missed you.
Yes.
You have to spell your name with more I's when you write it, Bree. Because it's pronounced Bree.
Yes.
Strawberry.
What the farn is milt, she says.
The what?
What the farn?
I thought you said farm.
This being mute.
This being mute. Bree, for reasons unknown, why did we start calling milk?
I think it was you two for not
it
liking
was.
it. So you dislike it so much that you won't even call it by its true name. You have to put a different consonant at the end of it.
I think it goes back to biology when talking about salmon spawn. And when the male salmon deposits its milk on the eggs, and I really think that is the origin of it.
That is the origin of it, because we thought milk has to be just as gross as salmon
Milt.
spawn.
Man, there's a Milton Berle joke in there somewhere, but I just can't quite wrap my tongue around it. But if I owned a salmon,
What?
if I had a pet salmon,
Wrap your tongue around it.
whatever. I can't put my ears back, Eric. Are you happy? No, if I had a
From what I
salmon
hear about
right
Milton
now,
Berle, that'd been a problem.
if I had a fish tank with a pet salmon, I would name it Milton Berle. Milt, MILT hyphen Ian Burl.
No,
Well, if you
N.
had two fists,
N.
you could have it Milt
I-N,
and Burl.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Ray, Bree, to answer your question, strawberry milk, yes. At some point, they started introducing strawberry milk, and now they even have like orange milk,
What?
like
an
orange cream milk.
creme.
Yeah, an orange creme milk.
Never heard of the like of that.
And I would never drink the strawberry milk, but in hindsight, I think mixing the strawberry and the chocolate might have been pretty good.
I don't know about that,
You know-
man. I don't know. That's
There was way more silence there than what I expected. I didn't mean that to be so controversial.
I'd get a mixed frosty at Wendy's with the strawberry and the chocolate together. It's not bad.
I didn't know you could get mixed Frosties.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What?
You didn't know that?
No.
Is that the secret
Half and
menu?
half and half.
Well,
It's like a squirrel cone.
Yeah.
So I read that they're coming out with a pumpkin Frosty. Is that always coming? Does that always happen?
pox. Sorry, I don't even mind pumpkin flavor. That's just silly. That's pandering.
How do you
Pandering.
spell that word, Brady, that you just said? I think there were a lot of consonants and no vowels in that word.
It would probably look like something from the Polish or the Czech language. There'd be a lot of
And it would have two dots on top of the U.
yeah
Yeah. Is Bree talking about those little
twisty straws.
The
No,
straws where you drink milk through it, and it flavors the milk as it goes up through the straw.
Yeah,
I've never
that is a
had
pretty
one of
cool
those.
invention, but just not my
Really?
bag.
Where do you find those?
Got little flavor beads in them.
Yeah,
They've been around for a long time.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they've
mean,
been
it's better for the turtles.
Right.
True. And I think I'm going to do one more because I'm running up on an hour. But this has been fun.
How
So
long's the
I
game,
will-
Eric?
I will
I don't know.
choose. All right. Can I end with something that everybody could probably? Sorry. I'll never risk it and try to make it to the gas station again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on a minute. So you would never risk it and try to make it to the gas station?
I think what it means is like if you're on a road trip, it's like, oh, I feel nature is paging me. And
All right. So that's what I was going to ask. Are we talking about gasoline or are we talking about needing to go to the restroom?
actually, I know what I thought, but I might be incorrect. Let me check. That's all it says.
I can't imagine any scenario where I would stop trying to risk it and get to the bathroom. Not only that, but I would think risking it would be, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to
That's
it
open to
means-
interpretation, and either one of them is an unfun experience.
I mean, maybe it means when you feel your first twinge, you need to stop.
twinge.
But I will say, yeah, and again, I don't know if I've said it on this podcast, but I've said it to a lot of people. Reaching 50 causes things to happen very quickly. It didn't used to be. Like I could drive, my in-laws live 6.5 hours away from here. I could legit drive 3.5 hours, not have to stop and pee or anything. Now it's like when I need to go, I need to go like right now, not in 2 minutes now. So
I'll let you know when I get to 50, but
yeah.
But I have discovered that no matter where I'm going, if it's more than just say up the road, I have to take a leak when I get there. And it's weird because I can not have to go, and then as soon as I pull into the parking lot, it's like my bladder says, "Well, we got an
Weird.
opportunity here. Let's take advantage of it."
Can I tell you where my situation is?
What?
It does not matter if I'm boarding a plane. Daggone it, I could go to the restroom and pee merely 10 minutes before I get on that plane. And the moment I'm in line getting ready to check in, I'm overcome with that panic where I better go pee and I gotta pee. And it's
Well,
mental. It's
First
mental.
off, I have never gone on a bathroom I've never gone in an airplane bathroom is what I was trying to say. I don't believe in it.
Like you believe it doesn't happen, or it's just not in your credo.
No. I've never joined. Well, it's not the Mile High Club. That's something completely different. But people join the Mile High Club in that bathroom. I don't need to be in there. No, but I've never flown more than like 3-4 hours. But I'll hold it. But I think what Eric's getting at is the older you get, the holding it isn't an option anymore.
No,
It's not an option. Like
Um,
exit immediately. And then if we go to the other side of it, like, hey, I think I can make it to the gas station to get gas. I really don't know what they're referring to because the little graphic that it accompanies it just shows two people like driving quickly. It could be either one. It could be to get the car there or to, get to the restroom to conduct commerce. It could go either way.
I think if it meant risking it, it would say like I would never risk it trying to make it to the next gas station.
right.
But I don't know anyone who's in a hurry to use a gas station bathroom. Unless it's a
As-
Sheets. Sheets have very clean restrooms.
As Bree says, going into a public bathroom is a risk.
Yeah, unless it's a Sheets. Bree, try to find. I
Unless
don't know
it's
if
a
you have
Buc-ee's.
I don't know if you have those in South Carolina. I couldn't imagine Buc-ee's restrooms being able to stay clean only because there's so many people at them.
Oh, dude, I'm serious.
Yeah, but-
You could literally eat your brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's off that restroom floor. It is
Agreed.
immaculate.
I'm
It is.
sure, but I want to know, Bree, why am I gross? First off, I didn't bring up this topic. Brady brought up the topic. I am just chiming in, but yet I'm gross.
Well,
Eric's talking about how he can't hold it anymore at 50. I mean, I
right.
think I've been the least gross in this conversation.
So, in regard to gasoline, okay, let's look at the other side of this thing. I have been victim of using a gas app, trying to find a good price.
Shocker.
Right? Getting sent to a gas station that is out of business. So then I have to head up the road and I run out of gas. It's happened to me.
I was just thinking back to Eric's use of trying, I don't know what you call it, a technology to find places, and how we spent an hour looking for ice cream after the
Rick Springfield show.
concert.
But you know what? Sorry, and I proudly stand high, but that is probably one of the least masculine sentences we've ever been involved in. We spent an hour trying to find the ice cream after the Rick Springfield concert.
But it was manly ice cream.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Rocky Road.
I will fully admit, I mean, Rick Springfield at what, 70? Is he 70
Yeah.
now?
He looks
Yeah,
better
he
than
is.
he did when he was
Oh,
25.
my gosh. Yes. He's built like a brick outhouse.
All right. So, you bring up this question here. We talked about this not too long ago.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a toll to pay when you go into the restroom at the gas station. You have to buy something when you come out. You just can't, unless I will use the rule of thumb if the cashier is not looking at me when I come out. If
Oh,
they're
they're looking at
otherwise
you.
if they're otherwise detained by someone else, then I will sneak out without paying my toll.
You know what's ironic? Is when you have to stop at a gas station and immediately pee because it's an emergency and you feel compelled to, what do? You buy a big old water.
Damn big water, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
See, my go-to is I have two go-tos. Beef jerky.
That's no,
That makes
not,
me laugh.
not what you're doing in the bathroom. What do you buy when you get out?
Oh, come on. TV, that's pushing the TV 14. Come on. Gary, if you're still listening, I apologize for Eric.
We all apologize for
Yeah.
Eric. Guy.
Well, Bree almost had it, but on mine, Bree, it is beef jerky or pistachios. That's a go-to.
Pistachios.
Pistachios.
All right.
Mine's
so,
usually a water.
Bree says she feels obligated, then feel extra guilty and have to buy more. What? Why would you feel guilty about using the facility that's there for you to use?
For
I can understand
customers.
paying the toll, but why do you feel guilty and you have to buy more?
I think she feels obligated and guilty because I think that's human nature because those bathrooms are not really there for you to use. They're there for shoppers to use.
But then you make yourself a shopper when you buy something. But
Would you run into a Jeff Ruby and use the restroom and then leave?
Well, that'd be
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I think I would if I had to.
Well, it would be damn.
Jeff,
As long as I didn't have to tip the attendant inside.
I was gonna say I got probably has that guy in the bathroom wanting to give me a mint or something.
Oh, I like a mint. I like a good mint after a visit to the urinal.
Not the urinal mint.
Well, if it's a chocolate mint, if it's like an Andes, I'll stay in there all day. It depends. If it's your run of the mill like spearmint or peppermint disc, they can keep that. But if it's an Andes or a buttermint or whatever they call those things,
Wedding mints,
a wedding mint or I think they're buttermints. They melt like they'll melt on your tongue if you're not careful. And I like those. So I will pay several visits. I don't mind tipping the restroom attendants.
Like over.
Here's the thing, and we all grew up in the same town, and no one we ever grew up with would a restroom attendant was not something we knew of in Sardinia, Ohio. Would you agree? It's not something that
I
you
would
ever
agree.
heard. But
if there was somebody attending the restroom in Sardinia, they'd probably get 911 called on them.
Well, yeah, and I remember the first time I experienced one, I felt a bit odd. I felt obligated. I felt like I didn't want the mouthwash. I didn't need any cologne. I smelled fine.
Did not need the paper towel handed to me.
No,
I'm
but
functional.
But I'll be honest with you, some of the restrooms I go in now, I would kill for a nice paper towel and just some encouragement because like you go in there and
spritz of Dracar Noir.
Yeah. It would be knockoff Dracar Noir. It'd be right there by the condom machine. The
Savage Bliss.
But I was just talking about this the other day. So I went to a concert the other night at Riverbend, PNC, whatever. But I went to the restroom, and so you guys have been to the restrooms there at Riverbend before. Both of you have. So it's like they haven't updated to the point of they have like any like bigger, fancier sinks. It's still individual size stall sinks. Like it's a one sink per person operation.
Yeah.
And there's a whole wall of sinks, and beneath each sink is a huge trash can. I mean, sticking out to the point of where like you have to like lean over awkwardly without, without touching your, depending on your height,
Your manhood on the
to the trash can.
Trash can to get to the sink.
Yeah, to get to the sink. Now I know why they've done it because it's easier to keep the place clean and they don't want to go in there and pick up nasty wet paper towels and things off the floor. So I get it. And good help's hard to find right now. And a lot of people don't want to work. But my point is this. That is not a comfortable restroom experience when you have to lean way over to wash your hands. Now, maybe they put it there because people are drunk at concerts and they can just throw up right there while they're at the sink and not throw up in the sink.
There's that.
There is that.
But you go to Turfway. We're never going to get sponsored by some of these people that I'm always calling out. But you go to Turfway, and there are three different nozzles sticking out in the hole.
I
cut
thought
out
this was wonderful.
Huh?
It was high tech and beautiful.
No, because you don't know what does what. I put my hand in one.
That's true. That's true.
It's a dryer right there by it's not a dryer separate on the wall. It's a dryer right there by the faucet.
Looks like a
soap
faucet.
Dispenser. Yeah, so you don't know which one's going to give you soap, which one's going to dry your hands, which one's going to wash your hands.
Or give you ketchup.
Yeah, well, and the worst invention in a bathroom ever is the one that you have to push the top and you have to hold it down for it to stay going. If you push the top and let off, it stops.
That's
What's the point of that?
Those kind that you have to sit your hands down in that looks like a handcuff machine.
No. I'm talking about the sink.
Okay.
It's a faucet with a
in order for the water to stay on, you have to.
Yeah, so you
keep on
basically
smacking it like
you have to
whack-a-mole
wash
water.
one hand at a time like this. That's how you have to wash your hand under.
But then you wash one hand like that, and then you have to put your hand back on the dirty ass faucet to turn it back on.
And I would argue that I would argue
for
that
nothing.
in our heyday, when we were Utes, that we were much healthier than people are now. And sinks were the old fashioned kind where you had a hot side, a cold side, and you had to hand crank them, and you washed your hands and you were done. You were fine.
I will say this, however, the old, you said hot side and cold side. Are you talking about the two separate like faucets? Because
Or
I never understood the whole idea of that. How do you wash your hands with the cold faucet and the hot faucet? You can't get warm water. It's either scalding hot or it's ice cold.
Hypothermia or a third-degree burn.
Yeah. So
I don't know. But anyway,
well,
wow, that was that we went deep down the rabbit hole there.
okay, so yeah, and Savannah says, or faucets that only have cold water, or
Wow.
or faucets that have a lukewarm temperature that they feel that is good for me.
yeah.
Maybe
I don't
they're
want
little-
you to decide for me what a comfortable temperature is.
Well, Brady, you mentioned the hand dryers. Now, I don't mind the ones where it literally, like, if you were to put your face in it, it would look like you were in a fighter jet. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mind those. Like, where it's literally like, and you're done. Everything's dry. Your cuticles are dry.
It's a
Your
lie.
bones are dry.
A lie. It's a lie.
No.
There's no such thing.
Yes, they have them. Those high-powered ones.
No.
You keep looking, sir.
Are you talking about the Dyson blade? No. You have to stand there and go, and
Well,
you get
you know
sick
what?
of going like this, and then you
You're
just
using too much
rub your
water.
hands on the back of your pants anyway.
I have
just like
smaller
everybody
hands. Maybe
does.
that's it.
Well,
I have smaller hands than you.
Exactly. I'll let that stand as a statement.
When you got a set of banana hands.
They're made for small hands. I mean, it's sometimes being small in stature isn't a bad thing. But no, I've dried my hands in one movement. I mean, not like too fast. It's kind of like a car wash. You have 30 seconds to dry your car. Do you ever wonder what pace you're supposed to go through there? How do you count it down? You inch forward.
You don't have a choice as to how fast you go through the car wash.
No, the drying part. The dryer you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You're on the track.
No,
on the track.
No, the dryer's off the track. That's the last piece of it.
No, you cannot determine the speed that you go through the car wash,
Yes,
whether it's the
you can.
dryer or the
Well,
wash.
you're talking about the magic tunnel.
Yes, the dryer you can.
There is a pause, but I don't think you can stay there very long because the light does turn green. And then
at Magic Tunnel, the dryers are out of the actual like the dryers are on the side. You're out of the actual tunnel.
Oh yeah. That is correct.
You
but
can drive as slow as you want through them. No, you could if nobody was behind you.
No,
except the dryers would shut off.
No.
I'm gonna have to test this because I'm gonna have to hit the old magic tunnel.
You don't have to test it. I live here. I test them all the time. Much like the barnacles at Long John's, you guys will lose that little bit.
Hey, Bree, are you still out there? If you are, you live in a different state. The little crunchy things they put in your Long John Silver's meals. What do you call those?
She's not old enough.
Okay.
She's not old enough.
What are you drinking, Brady? Tea?
Milos. Yeah. I discovered something. See, I thought Milos was just
Thank you, Brady, by the way.
This.
They're
and
called
it's actually a
What
chain
they're
of burger
called- isn't
joints
what
in
they're
Alabama.
called now. You weren't called that in 1975.
Oh.
Go ahead, Brady. Sorry.
Oh, okay. But yeah, Milo's is actually a burger joint in Alabama. That's the only place it's located. There's a few of them in Alabama. So I thought the tea came first, but then when I was driving to Florida, Randall saw it. There was a sign. It's like, Daddy, there's Milo's. You could stop and get a tea. He's like, what is this? A tea shop? But no, it's a burger joint. Kind of like an A&W, I guess.
Roll Tide.
Excellent tea, though.
Roll Tide.
All right.
Have you ever been A&W? Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
Speaking of Long John Silver, there's a connection there, isn't there?
Every time I go to one, the little thing's broken down. The little wooden cask to get the root beer out of.
Oh, man.
If they would put bourbon in that cask, then they'd be in business.
There you go.
Oh, man, that's true.
All right. Visit our website.
Oh, yeah.
www.playbyyourpodcast.com. See now, Bree, if you go to the website, you will see what milt is among our other
Yeah.
isms. So go to the isms and you can bring
have lots
yourself
of
up to
isms.
speed on.
So, do
Slimy.
you guys have? You don't have strawberry milk at your schools?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do occasionally.
Yeah.
That's what all the sunburned cows give.
Haha.
I liked it when you could first get Nestle strawberry milk.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was always a treat.
Nestle's makes the very best chocolate.
What the heck is going on? Eric's on Quaaludes.
Was that an actual jingle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty boring. It's like something you'd sell bullions with or something. I don't know.
Wait till you see it. It looks like the cover of a Harlequin romance novel. And it's like snow and ridiculously attractive people canoodling. And it just, yeah. It I don't know. It seemed to appeal to a certain, but the jingle was really annoying.
Yeah.
No, Jim. I'm just saying. Brady said he was in Alabama. You can get yourself out of any trouble in Alabama if you just say "Roll Tide." Unless you're in Auburn, then you can't say. You have to say "War Eagle."
True.
Right. And not that I adhere to Roll Tide. Certainly not. But it's just what I was saying. All right. So the game is called Priorities. Prioritize. So I've been thinking about how we should go about this. I mean, so the gist of the game is I'm going to give you 5 things, and whoever is the target person will list those 5 things in their desired order from most desired to least desired. And then the other 2 have to guess in what order that person put those things.
Interesting. So, like if I'm the target person, you and Todd would try to prioritize my answers.
Exactly.
Prioritize.
So I'm thinking in the. I mean, we all could be target people and take turns, but that would take a long time. I'm guessing in the spirit of brevity that we should choose one target person amongst us, and then the other 2 will guess. There's a scoring system, so the scoring system will determine how well we know the target person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do we want to do a practice round?
We can.
Right,
I guess we should decide first who should be the target person.
For the practice round, I'll volunteer to be the practice person.
Chocolate.
So I got to warn you, fellas. I have to be careful with my sucker tonight. So, Brady, do you have your game treat?
They were out. That's why I'm drinking Milo's.
So
that's my backup.
I have to be careful because on Monday, I'm not looking for sympathy here, but on Monday,
good because you won't get it.
Yes. So on Monday, after working all day, I had a 3.5 hour dentist chair visit. 3.5 hours straight with I don't remember the last time I had that many shots in my gums.
That sounds totally awful.
Anyway,
oh, little slow burn there. Sorry.
So I had Brady's little snicker is what's getting me. I'm not even looking at him, but I can tell.
I didn't say a word.
As close up as he is right now, his chin hair's dancing. I can tell it's. No, so I had 2 crowns. Have you ever had a crown?
Crown.
Have you ever had a crown?
No.
So I had 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 of them side by side, and most people only get 1, but I'm tough, so I had 2 of them. And I've had 2 root canals in my past, and the root canals were nothing compared to these crowns. These crowns really kind of got to me. And so then I played a show last night, and there's nothing like playing a show where halfway through you're like spitting out blood and tasting blood the whole night. But so tonight I'm like, should I have my sucker? Because I have to eat everything on this side because they put in temporary crowns, and then in a couple weeks I'll get the permanent crown. So I got to be very gentile with my sucker tonight. So I wanted to warn you guys. I can't just be all
So it's going to take more than 3 licks to get to the center.
Exactly, and I can't chew it, so I'm just going to throw it away afterwards. A used sucker.
Used. All right. So practice round. So the 5 things are trying to remember your password, Netflix, Greta Thunberg, man buns.
Are we
And
talking about
draw.
the hair?
Yes.
Are we talking anus?
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
The hair.
Okay. Manus. We're not.
Not manus. And drama. All right. So the 5 things are, again, trying to remember your password, Netflix, Greta Thunberg, man buns, and drama.
Who's picking?
Brady is the target person.
All right.
So
So he picks?
Yes, he picks. So he has to tell us when he's done ranking these 5 things. And then you and I have to discuss where we're going to put these 5 things as far as what we think, where he might have put them.
I'm done.
I might have missed this earlier. Is he ranking them in order of interest, pleasure?
Most desirable to least desirable.
Okay.
So
we
my most desirable is
Hang on.
1,
Okay.
and least desirable is 5.
Correct.
Okay. So do we write them down too, Eric?
I think you and I can just talk them out.
Okay. Well, I forget them already.
All right.
Oh, my pen's out already. Would you believe that?
Trying to remember your password, Netflix, Greta Thunberg, man buns, and drama.
Is it Thun or Thune?
Thun, tomato.
Too Thune.
Yeah.
Greta Thunberg.
Too Thune, yes.
It's Too Thune.
Too soon.
All right. I believe, and Todd, you can chime in, of course. I believe of these 5 things, Netflix would be the most desirable thing on his list. I mean, to me, these other 4 things seem to be somewhat undesirable in any facet.
I think it's going to be a like all games. It's just however you look at it. It's what does he mean? Like undesirable for him, undesirable for all of mankind? Is he
It's
speaking
me
for a
personally.
nation?
No, it's him personally. That's
Okay.
the gist of the game. He, according to his feelings, where would these 5 things rank?
Do we have to go in order?
Yes, we have to get them in order because we get points for each one we get correct in order.
But do we have to say them in order? Can we skip around? Like, so why something's fresh in my memory?
No. We can as we're talking it out, we can put them like we start with number 1, so Netflix, and we can go to number 5 for that matter. What would be the least desirable?
I would like to go to number 5.
Okay.
Greta Thunberg as number 5. So that's what I'm.
I don't know. I was thinking drama.
Nah, because what do we mean? Do we mean like a drama, like Law and Order? That's a drama.
No, like
Sons of Anarchy. That's a drama. Are we talking about like a
so and so said something about so and so's gender reveal party, and then cake got thrown? Drama.
Stirring crap.
Yeah. So see what I mean, though? It's all about interpretation there, because I was thinking like a drama isn't.
He just gave you his interpretation.
He did. Yeah, you're right. But before he gave it to me when I was ranking him, I didn't know how he was looking at it. But I'm still going Greta Thunberg for number 5.
You think?
Well, first off, I mean, I think that it's synonymous.
Well,
drama
right.
and Greta Thunberg.
So, but I would say this: Greta Thunberg doesn't impact your daily life. She only impacts you when you happen to see her on some media site or something. Drama is around all the time. That's why I would call it more undesirable than Greta Thunberg. Now, Greta Thunberg may be number 4, but I would say drama is number 5.
Do we have to do this together? Do we have to come to an agreement together?
Yes.
Okay. That's a good argument.
Do we agree?
Yeah, I'll let you talk me out of it. We'll put drama number 5.
Okay. So, all right. So we have 2 and 3. We have man buns or trying to remember your password. I believe. I don't know. I guess I'm projecting here. Man buns. I would find man buns more undesirable than trying to remember my password because I could just always click "forgot your password" and just change it. But
What if your password is man buns?
well, there you
Man buns 69.
That says a lot about.
What if your password is Greta Thunberg?
Well, 69.
Had to go there. It's a perfectly legal statement, but still,
Gary says,
Yeah,
"How
good
many number
question,
fives
Gary.
can you have?" That's
Yeah.
a really good question. Again, I would say the password would be number 2 and man buns would be number 3. That'd be my take.
So we're going password number 3.
Yes. No,
So we have to write
password
this down.
number 2 because that's more desirable than man buns. But again, I'm projecting. Maybe Brady would think man buns were more desirable than passwords. We're trying to remember them anyway.
Well, so we're going Netflix number 1. Let's go
Yep.
passwords number 2.
Okay.
Man buns number 3.
Yep.
Greta Thunberg number 4.
Yep.
And drama number 5.
Correct. So
All right.
here's my chicken scratch.
I agree.
All right. Are you ready for the reveal?
Yes.
Number 1 is Netflix.
Very good.
Number 2 is password.
Yes.
Number 3 is man bun.
Yes.
No, I'm not
Man.
opposed to him. I've always wanted long hair. I thought a man bun, it's kind of a versatile statement. Number 4 is drama.
Oh,
And number 5 is Greta Thunberg.
You should have listened to me, Eric.
I should have.
Um,
Okay, so the way this scoring system works, on the last 2, we were 1 off on each, so we got 2 points. The object here is like golf scoring, so we want the lowest score.
okay.
Okay, so we got 2 for that.
How about, can I make a suggestion? Because this could get lengthy. I think this would be fun if we each take a turn being the target. And we
The
could
target?
gamify it the next time. This is just fun shooting the bull. Let's call an audible here.
Doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter. Let's look at the time, though. So the most we have
okay.
right now is 33 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's
but
keep it at that. Whatever it takes to get.
It's a 3-round game. I mean, the whole game
Okay.
is 3 rounds.
Okay.
So if we wanted to keep Brady as the target for the next 2 rounds and just play the whole game, we could do that, or
All right.
each of us could be the target. It doesn't really matter to me.
I think we should each be the target. Let's
Yeah.
try it that way first. We're living
Yeah.
learn. We're playing it by ear.
All right. So there
This is
will
organic.
there will really be no game to this. Then it'll just be.
Shooting the bull about
Well-
our priorities.
Well, I mean, I guess it could be a game. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it
So
matters who the
Todd,
target is.
Todd and I got 2 points with Brady. So
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right. So Todd is the target.
I'm putting my plus 2 points on here so you don't cheat me out of them.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Well, you want to be cheated. You'd rather have 0 because
True. It's
All
like
right.
golf. I want love.
love. That's tennis.
Unless you're
these-
Davis Love the third.
These are good. All right. Okay, here are Todd's 5 things, Brady.
Okay.
Oh, I gotta.
So you, Brady and Todd, if you want to write them down, they're in front of me. I don't need to write them down.
Okay.
But, all right. Hipster beards. A moist towelette. Not just a towelette, but a moist
Well,
towelette.
what would be the point of a towelette if it wasn't moist?
I don't know. Maybe a towelette would be more undesirable than a moist towel.
That's as useful as a cake that's not moist.
Moist. Cheapness.
Cheapness.
Cheap.
Cheapness.
Cheap. Being cheap. Cheapness.
Okay.
Okay. Cannibalism.
Hell, that took a turn.
Everybody knows how that Todd enjoys some cannibalism.
And the Bible.
Oh, way to put me on the spot. So I'm ranking these from. Okay, can you explain again how I'm ranking these?
You are
Most
ranking these
pleasant
from
one.
most desirable to least desirable.
Yeah.
So once again, for those who are listening, the 5 things are hipster beards, a moist towelette, cheapness, cannibalism, and the Bible. All right, Todd, you let us know when you've ranked. Let us know when you're rank.
Okay, I got it.
And again, the most difficult thing I find about this game is I feel I'm projecting. I look at
Yeah,
these things.
I had to look at it through Todd's eyes
Yeah.
because I would say cannibalism would be number 5, but Todd, that's probably going to be number 1. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Right. Right.
All right, I've got it.
Okay.
Well, let's discuss.
Well, now Todd, is Todd done? Todd, are you done with your list?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Done.
Okay. Go ahead, Brady.
Okay, I'm going to guess Todd is brought up in the the church or everything. So especially when you see the other things on this list as far as priorities, I would say that the Bible is number 1.
Agreed.
Now, I don't want to say too much, but Todd is a man that likes to travel with dude wipes. So I'm going to say moist towelette is going to be number 2.
I don't disagree with that.
I'm going to put number 3 is cheapness because he's a man that enjoys a good bourbon or a good cologne or a well-made, highly crafted guitar or pair of shoes. So I'm going to put cheapness in number 3.
Well, but he also appreciates
Thriftiness.
thriftiness. Yes.
But I will still say that goes ahead of I will okay. I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bible 1, moist towelette 2, hipster beard number 3.
You think?
Well, no, I'm sticking with my initial. No, cheapness number 3, hipster beard number 4, and cannibalism number 5. Because I don't think Todd wants to look like Benjamin Harrison, and and Rutherford B. Hayes.
Maybe William Henry Harrison.
I go along with that list.
So there we go.
Okay, so again, the Bible, a moist towelette, cheapness, hipster beards, and cannibalism.
And I'm ranking this from, again, just want to make sure that I'm on the same page, from most desirable to least desirable.
That's correct. So Garrett gives you a hint first, Todd. Bible above cannibalism will make you look better.
I gave up on that a long time ago, Gary.
Cannibalism?
Or the Bible.
Or looking good.
So number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
Hang on, man. I'm looking up through the comment sections real quick. What did Bree mean by frosted glass? Oh, root beer. Okay.
Yeah.
Root beer. Yeah, root beer.
Number 1 on my list, the Bible.
Okay.
So you guys were right. Number 2, you know me way too well. Moist towelette. But I would like to add, not necessarily for the reasons that Brady said, although that does come into play.
Now, if it had been dude wipe instead of moist towelette, it may have beaten the Bible.
Yeah. I know. I when you play a lot of concerts and shows, you have a lot of dirty hands and sweat and grimy. So moist towelettes are pretty important when you're wanting to stop for White Castle on the way home. You can't eat a White Castle with dirty hands.
The dude wipes will come after White Castle.
Yeah. So moist towelettes play an important role. 3, hipster beards.
Oh,
Okay.
my.
I went back and forth.
I have no problem with the hipster beard because I don't think the beard makes the hipster. A hipster beard doesn't look much different than
Rutherford B.
John Rambo,
Hayes' beard.
a John Rambo when he, you know, what I mean, I'm saying like the beard's the beard. So like, it's more the hipster scene that I haven't. It's not the beard.
See, I think it's a difference because when I think hipster beard, I think of the long beard, but the coif is very gelled and parted.
Well, hang on,
And
look where your hands
that
are.
really that Benjamin Harrison look.
Look where your hands are, though. You left the beard and you went to the top of the head.
Never leave the beard,
The
Brady.
last time I checked, the beard doesn't extend north. A beard extends south. Am I right?
Correct.
Beards
But
don't
I was
grow
just
up.
defining what I think of a hipster
I know
beard.
what you mean, but I
Yeah.
think you're talking about the whole hipster
Yeah.
look.
Persona.
I have no problem with the beard itself,
Okay.
because the beard itself is not much different than any other beard.
True.
Number 4, cannibalism.
Really?
Well,
That's a surprise.
Well, here's my argument because I thought about this. I did have it last at 5 at one point, and then I thought it doesn't specify if we're talking cannibalism for adventure, for fun, for sick and twisted mind games. If it's cannibalism because for survival,
your plane crashed in the Andes.
plane
kind of
crash in the
thing.
Andes
Okay.
type thing, then I think it's necessary. Survive above everything else. You got to survive.
Don't give me cheap cologne.
Cheapness. The older I get, I am a believer in most of the time you get what you pay for. Most of the time. I'm not going to say there's not good deals. I'm not going to say there's not bargains. I'm not going to say that you can't. You ever notice somebody, Brady, you mentioned guitars. You ever notice somebody be like, I only paid $500 for guitar. It plays like a dream. And then you start talking to them. They put a $400 set of pickups in it. And they put $300 locking tuners on it. And they put, especially in the music business, you usually get what you pay for.
Yeah.
I
agree.
I think the same thing about clothing a lot of times. I buy cheap clothes a lot, and I gripe at myself every time because they don't last, or they don't wear well, or they don't wash well, whatever it is. So I do believe that most of the time you get what you pay for. If I'm having a guy come and work on my HVAC, I don't want the cheapest guy around. If I'm having a guy come and blacktop my driveway, I don't want the cheapest guy around. I want the most affordable, but also quality.
Okay.
So cheapness is my end of 5 on my list. Does that make sense? Did I do a decent
Totally
job?
makes sense.
Yeah. That's valid arguments. All right. So Brady, we missed cannibalism by 2. We missed hipster beards by 1, and we missed and wait a minute, we missed cheapness by 2, cannibalism by 1, and hipster beards by 1. So our total is 4 points when it comes to Todd.
Hang on a minute. Why did we only get 2 the first time? We were only 1 off. We had Greta Thunberg and Thunder, whatchamacallit?
Because we were 1 off on each. So a total of 2.
And then Eric and I were 2 off each.
Oh, you went the lowest points pot. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Eric.
All right, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, schmiddlemen.
All right.
He's scared.
Here
Scared.
we go. Here we go. I may get canceled. All right. My 5 things. Deleting your browser history. YouTube. Facebook.
Wow.
Instagrams.
Ooh.
And gender fluidity.
One of these things is not like the other. Okay. Right, Todd, you ready to tackle this?
Yeah. Be honest, Eric.
Of course, I'll be
Okay.
honest.
I know you will. Brady.
All right. All right. I'm debating. So, my answer, if you would have asked me a year ago, my answer would be different than it is today. So, all right. All right. Got it. Wait a minute.
I have mine.
Okay. Okay, got it.
You want to discuss?
Yeah, let's discuss.
All right. Number one, and maybe it's because I don't quite understand it.
Okay.
But number one, I'm going to say is deleting browser history.
Yeah.
I don't know if it means like accidentally, on purposely.
I think it means on purpose. Like he's protecting his privacy. Not that he's doing anything nefarious,
yeah.
but he's a man that values his privacy. And if he doesn't want people to see that he's checking the betting odds on the Bengals game, or if he is,
he likes a good computer douching every once in a while.
Yes. 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 Well said. So
That
yeah,
needs to be
I
in the
had that at
isms.
number one also. Okay, I had that as number one.
What's your number dose?
This is difficult for me, but I'm going to go YouTube because it's very versatile. Because you could do the live watching, you could do the watching funny clips, you could watch us. So I'm going to go number 2 is YouTube. This is where it gets difficult.
I put YouTube as well. It's scary how like we how much we know each other. I put YouTube as well because I agree. I don't think Eric has any problem with YouTube.
YouTube's a big toolbox.
There's
many toolboxes.
I've
There's
never
many
heard
things.
Eric complain about YouTube. I've never heard any gripes or complaints.
Nope.
I honestly can't see anybody having a problem with YouTube other than the fact that maybe, YouTube could be misused, I guess, is what I, it could be, privacy could be squeezed, things,
Now, this is where it gets difficult.
It does.
And we're on to 3, right?
3, yes.
Number 3, I'm going to say Facebook because it is our major vehicle for drive. Even though he hates it,
yes,
we have to use it a lot.
I was getting ready to say Facebook. I say it all the time. If I did not have interest, first off, you can't really be a band and not have Facebook.
Correct.
You can't
And
be
I
a
do like
podcast.
seeing pictures of people's kids and pet. Like
I enjoy a lot of things about Facebook, but Facebook itself. I'll give you an example. About 2 weeks ago, and this went on for a month and a half. I could not do Facebook events from my phone.
mhm.
Every time I did, it was putting them in Pacific time zone. Every time. I've never been in the Pacific time zone. I did everything. I read what to do. I restarted my phone. I updated Facebook. I went in. For a month and a half. And I run the band's Facebook page. So it's important that I get events out there. And I had to always, and I like to do them sometimes when I'm not at home. But I had to wait until I got home to get on my tablet. It worked fine on my tablet. Same account, same everything. That's why Facebook sucks. That kind of stuff. Just little wrinkles and crinkles and just stuff that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you got the people, but people are easy to deal with as far as that goes.
Yeah.
I mean, but that kind of stuff. But I agree, we have to have Facebook, and I know Eric knows that.
Yeah.
But I know that he is also said before F Facebook.
Blankety blank blank. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4 would be Instagram. I don't use Instagram, but I like perusing the Instagram reels. All right. And it amuses me. So I'd say he's probably come a little bit around on Instagrams. And this was a difficult choice, but I think gender fluidity is number 5. I think
It was not a bit difficult for me.
no, well, I mean,
yeah,
you've not known Eric as long as I'm kidding. Like he is a very
Well, I didn't shower with him after junior high ball, if that's what you mean.
his
No one showered after junior high ball because we were changing in a classroom.
Right.
That's
if
true.
If you were a my ball team in
That
junior
ha-
high and freshman, you showered with your underwear on. That's the only way to do it, manly style.
But anyway, like I said,
Be damned.
I don't think Eric has ever questioned, I don't think he's ever secretly wanted to try a pair of Prada pumps to make himself feel pretty. And I think he is what would be the opposite of fluid? He is gender solid.
Static?
Yes, gender static. There we go.
You're welcome. I teach English for a reason. I didn't think it was hard at all. I picked that. I mean, if we're being honest, I didn't think. But what amazes me is how we got the other ones spot on. The same. I'm going to be very surprised if we didn't get every one of them.
Yeah,
I'm going to be very surprised. In fact, I'm going to think
grinning.
I'm going to think
He's
Eric's
going to
lying.
say,
I'm going to think Eric is lying if he did not. If we didn't get every one of them.
All right.
Come on, lay it on us, Eric.
"Lay it on us, crush our dreams."
I appreciate your arguments and your theories.
But we're wrong.
All right. Number 1, according to how I rank them, YouTube.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. It was 1 or 2. I could see that.
I was going back and forth.
I find myself these days watching YouTube more than I watch TV. 40 minutes of my time can be taken up laughing hysterically at a man with a fart machine running by someone in Central Park and making a wet fart sound. You can't get that on TV.
Parents, when you call the school and it's like, Mr. Fiskus isn't available right now.
He's
Watch
listening to
YouTube.
wetpar.com. He's watching his stories.
And I one of watch your stories. Yeah. Now, one of you said that I think Brady said it's a toolbox. It's anything you want, you can get it on YouTube. I watch John Boy breakdowns of baseball events. I watch
John Boy say goodnight.
John Boy.
Yeah,
I guess you watch it. I've watched congressional testimony on YouTube. It's just a cornucopia of stuff.
A myriad.
A myriad, yes. So YouTube is my number 1. Number 2, Facebook.
Ooh.
I believe you all ended up a little bit in the weeds about the mechanics of Facebook versus the usefulness of Facebook. The things I dislike about Facebook have to do with the people. However, and I hate to say this, I get drawn in by some of it. And for one, I would been Brady. This hits close to your heart, probably. This whole debate that Lake Winoka is having about the new lodge, I've just been
fascinated,
taken in by it, and it doesn't affect me. But at the same time, I mean, I really have become enamored by it.
The drama would not be number 5 on your list.
Well,
I'm kidding.
Depends on what the list is, I guess. But so Facebook number 2, number 3, deleting your browser history. I believe there is a usefulness for that. As you said, I do value my privacy. Not that I'm necessarily trying to hide anything, but I don't want anyone seeing what I'm doing. So I believe none. Yeah. Number 4, Instagrams. I believe I say it every time we have this show at the end. I don't understand the meaning or purpose of Instagrams. The reels do make it a little bit more palatable, but now you're getting Instagram reels on Facebook, so you don't really have to go to Instagram.
Yeah.
So there's that. And 5, as you all said, gender fluidity, and I will just say a clear number 5. And I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
So as not to be canceled.
Well, I'll be honest. If you're canceled because of that, then I'll be in the picket line with you. To use an old, we got dads who are in the old unions. They know about picket lines,
right?
I'm not surprised by your. I thought Brady and I had a strong, a chance at getting them all, but I'm not surprised. It's not one of those dudes where I'm like, oh bullshit, Eric. You know, I can see that.
You didn't think I was lying?
No, not at all. Which again, honestly, what's the point of this game if we're going to lie about it? I don't think that any of us are going to. I think where I got in the weeds of Facebook is
its unwieldiness at times.
Well, I got caught on the technical side of it, which it is just garbage half the time. Like a lot of the time, just garbage. I mean, stuff just doesn't make sense.
No.
But the people, everything I love about Facebook is the people, and everything I kind of hate about Facebook. I shouldn't say everything because I hate the
technical stuff,
the technical side, but I hate the people, but also love the people. It's strange. It's a love-hate relationship.
No. I totally understand.
Yeah, and well, I've mentioned before the kind of post that I dislike, and I guarantee you that there are people that dislike my post. There are people that hate my post, but also I think it's important to know what each person's using Facebook for. As I pull up my soapbox here, so I think that's why Facebook was hard to gauge for me. If Facebook, I love when Facebook's used for promotion. That's the way I use it for the most part. I love when Facebook's used to share family things. I enjoy seeing all the first school day pictures.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mocking of that. I think some of it's sour grapes. I think some of it's just shitty attitude, like, just meanness.
Yeah.
But then one of the things I hate about Facebook is the total lack of self-awareness.
Excuse me.
The people that every post is meant to catch somebody's eye when the eye it needs to catch is their own. That's one of my biggest things. The people that hold, like, if you can't accept me for how I am, then you're the problem, when maybe you're just a jerk. And that kind of thing. But I think that's why this game is fun, because like you don't know how it's interpreted. I mean, Facebook was higher on Eric's list than I thought it would be, because I've heard him complain about Facebook so often, like we all have. But then again, the usefulness of it, I think, I missed that. So
outweighs the technical nonsense.
Exactly, and again outweighs the jerks, because ultimately the jerks are they're not important. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a
well
good
played.
Game. It's a good game.
It's a good game. It's fun.
Yeah. Now, how did the points stack up there?
So you all had deleting browser history first, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
All right. So I had it 3, so you missed there by 2.
Okay.
You had YouTube, Facebook. You missed both of those by 1, so there's 4. And the other 2 you had correct. So I guess if 2 people know one of us better, me and Todd know Brady better, then
well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Did that surprise you?
No.
I mean, think about the text I sent yesterday. I sent a picture of a plate with some Pop-Tart bits, some Pop-Tart shrapnel, some Pop-Tart limbs, and I say, I think what I say, something along the lines of,
I think this is Brady's plate.
Am I raising Brady here? Yeah, because it was my son's plate.
It looks like Brady got into the Pop-Tarts.
And Brady says spot on, which leads me to believe that every plate of Pop-Tart residue you leave looks the same way that my son's did.
So
I
Ethan,
will
that
say-
was Ethan's. You never said it was Ethan's.
No, it was Ethan's, and you know what
I
he
didn't
said?
know it was Ethan's.
I texted Ethan. I said, has Brady been here or what? And because Ethan knows about the Brady handles, and Ethan says no one eats the corners.
I was going to say
Parts.
that has nothing to do with the handles. That's the least flavorful leftover. That's not even a handle thing. That's just a thing.
It depends, though, Brady. Those Pop-Tarts in question were chocolate Pop-Tarts, tasty all the way to the very tip of the corner.
Agreed.
The frame tastes good, just like the
I eat
picture
the
tastes
picture out of the frame.
Then you take a big enough bite of the corner that you get some filling.
Thank you, Eric. You got to get filling in with the frame.
But then you can
Now-
puncture the roof of your mouth with that corner if you're not
You
careful.
and your sensitive ass mouth roof. Damn, put some new shingles on that bad boy and man up.
Nice.
No, seriously though. Now, if you're eating one of the just bland, blonde, like the cinnamon
Frosted
ones,
Pop Tarts.
Let's just
like the
call it what
cinnamon-
it is, the white ones.
Yeah.
It's true. It's the white
the Caucasian
Pop-Tart,
tarts. The cinnamon one, the filling is the only part to eat. I will give you the edges aren't great, but I still eat them because I adapt Eric's method of making sure you have a nice ratio of filling to frame.
Yeah. Filling the frame.
Filling the frame.
Here's a new one.
Oh,
We had a few comments. I kind of neglected the comments a little bit here. So Savannah loves those videos that I watch. Do you all watch those videos? Guffaws. 40 minutes of guffaws.
nothing has made me laugh harder though than that daggone family that went to the drive-through petting zoo, and I can't tell you why.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Wrecked me.
It did me too. I got to be honest. I don't enjoy the fake farting as much as I enjoy the real farting.
But it's not about the fake farting. It's about people's reaction to the fake fart.
I will
Yeah.
agree. Yes.
And the female's reaction is 99% of the time the same. It's now the
And
guy
then
will just
some
crack
try
it
to
up.
act disgusted at first, but then they get 10 yards down and start cracking up laughing when they think nobody's watching them.
You're right. So
Have you seen the one lately where the guys dressed? They're on golf course. It's called like Golf Course Jerks or something, and they're like the guy dressed up in a devil costume, and the guy's getting ready to go up and put his ball in, and he runs up in a devil costume, and he has like a helium balloon, and he puts the ball in the basket and lets the balloon drift off with the ball.
no, I've never.
And they
seen
just do horrible things to people on golf courses, and it's like somebody's gonna die one day.
Here is what, and I know all the controversy about TikTok and things like that. I understand it.
Yeah,
And I don't love TikTok, but I have a lot of people that send me TikTok videos. And it's usually people that know my sense of humor. I mean, much like if you guys send me a video or something. So I don't knock people who are into it for that. But here is what modern day internet and reels. What's Instagram? Are those reels? Facebook are reels.
Well, the Facebook things are Instagram Reels.
True. Here's what it has helped me understand, and it's brightened my day, is that there are people out there just like us.
yeah.
This world is full of hilarious people.
Yeah.
And when you feel like you're alone and like your sense of humor is just out there and nobody gets you, like there are people out there that get us and get our listeners.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. Some of the content creators, some of the, just some of the posts, and I'll read it and I'll just laugh uncontrollably. And I'm like, that sounds like something that we would all say.
Yeah.
It's just, they usually have the cojones, the cojoles, the manwich, to put it out there. And oftentimes we can't because of our vocation.
Yeah. So we put it out there a little bit on this show.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, gentlemen, look at us.
Brady is
We
he's
exactly
really
have
close
40
right now.
seconds. I
Yeah.
leaned in.
Yeah.
Because I was just kind of readjusting the
We're,
back.
we're close. I think we can get down to that bit 30 mark eventually.
Yeah. Jim says, yes, I'm watching a train wreck on Facebook. Wants to look away, but can't. That's true. And Savannah puppy videos on Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Love some dog videos.
All right. Anything else for the good of the order?
I don't believe
Oh,
so.
good.
All right. Just as a reminder, audio-wise, this show will come out on Friday morning, 3 a.m. on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and the iHeartRadio app, and most anywhere else you find audio podcasts. Video-wise, also on Spotify, as well as YouTube's and our Twitch. Search Play It By Ear podcast on both. Social media-wise, you can find all those links on our website, www.playitbyearpodcast.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagrams. You can interact with us via email, admin@playitbyearpodcast.com. You can leave us a voice message. Once again, we have no voice messages. We keep asking. But you can click a link at your audio podcast provider. There's also a link on our website. You can leave us a voice message. So it's there. Leave us a voice message. We're wanting one. And like I said, those are all the ways you can interact with us.
We're interactable.
Yes, we are. Anything else, gentlemen?
I can't think of anything.
We're
Thank you,
back
James.
on. Yes, we're back on school hours. So 7
Scours.
o'clock. Scours. 7 o'clock. Wednesday evenings. Join us. Todd, take us out. Try not to knock your mic over.
Thanks for listening to the Play It By Ear podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter @PlayItByEarPod2, and our website at anchor.fm/Play It By Ear podcast. Thanks again, and join us next time as we play it by ear.